Sock Witchery YouTube channel. My name is Lindsay, and I'm coming to you from a very chilly Wisconsin, where I live with my husband Colin and our cat Gigi. You can find me here on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Ravelry as Sock Witchery, and all of those places are linked down below in the show notes. Welcome to the first official video of 2026. If you are new to the channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. I took some time off after Vlogmas because I managed for the first time in 5 years to record and edit every single day from December 1st to the 24th, and decided to take a little time off from editing and recording. 2026 there will be more videos on this channel, so that'll be exciting, and they won't just be travel vlogs of me going to yarn festivals. I'm going to sit down and talk to you about the things I am working on, and in 2026 we are working on socks. Not surprising, my name is indeed Sock Witchery. Well, not my name is Lindsay. My brand is Sock Witchery, my design is Sock Witchery, and some years I don't knit as many socks as I'd like to. So in 2026, I am making that a priority. I have sweaters on the needles that are maybe gonna get done, but right now, I just want to knit socks. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. Today I have for you some finished objects that I've finished since the beginning of the year. Not started and finished, just finished since the beginning of the year. I'll share with you some of the knit-alongs that I'm participating in this year that are revolving around socks that are up and running so far for 2026. We will talk about 3 works in progress that I would like to finish before I talk to you next. And then I have a little bit of yarn to show you that I've picked up since the holidays. And I would really like to cast on soon, but we're going to try and be responsible and finish some other things first. So, again, if you're new to the channel, welcome. A little bit about me. My day-to-day life is a studio assistant for Fangirl Fibers, which basically means I help out around the studio. I do most things to help that are not involving dye. So if it involves putting dye on yarn or mixing dye, I don't do it. Most everything else, I help do. So that is my day-to-day job. I used to be a middle school orchestra teacher for almost a decade, which oddly lent itself to more knitting time than it does working in a yarn dyeing studio. It's just because you had more downtime. So I am, like I said, focusing primarily on socks this year. I did knit a lot of sweaters last year for various fiber festivals and things like that. I also knit a lot of samples for the studio last year as well. I did a couple of designs. So I talked about those. You can go back and find those in Vlogmas if you'd like to see my most recent, I think it's three patterns. Yeah, but for now, in this video, we're going to focus on the now. And the now is going to be 3 finished objects, 3 whips I'd like to finish, and like I said, yarn that I've acquired. So let's start with our first finished object of the year. Literally, I finished these on New Year's Day. This is Huntrix by Fashion School Dropout. I will bring them closer so you can see the delightful speckles in color. This is my String of Lights pattern. All the finished objects you're going to see are my String of Lights pattern, which is available on Ravelry down below. I like textured patterns that aren't busy and provide negative ease in a sock, which is why you will almost never see me knit a vanilla sock. I don't love how they fit my legs, so I knit this because it grips onto my legs. Anyway, this is String of Lights. This is Fashion School Dropout Huntrix. I bought this at Cakepalooza at the New York Sheep and Wool Festival in October. So Cakepalooza is held by Cake Fiber Company on the Friday before the New York State Sheep and Wool Festival, which is commonly referred to as Rhinebeck, if you are not aware. And there's many independent dyers that vend both at the Friday Fringe festivals and at the Sheep and Wool Festival proper. I bought a lot of yarn. You can actually go back and watch the vlog from Rhinebeck here on the channel. I will try and do the thing where I pop a little card in to show you that video. But yeah, this is one of the skeins I bought and I've actually finished for the year. I love them. I had said in Vlogmas at one point that I was struggling with my socks being tight and I wasn't sure why. I figured out a couple of things. One, there was a period where apparently I was very stressed and knitting a lot tighter than I normally do. And that was part of the problem. That's why they were coming out too tight. Also, I needed to make the foot of my sock longer. My feet have grown, because apparently that's a thing that happens. And I had to adjust the length of my socks, and now that problem is all fixed. I do want to do a video at some point this year where I go through my giant whip pile, which I tried to do last year when I was trying to do mountain to molehill. And I've learned that that kind of pressure does not work well for me. I need to knit what I want, when I want, and whether, if that's new, great. If that's old, great. Let's get some stuff done. I think it's that new year, I want to knit new things kind of thing. So there will be a time where we go through some of my other whips that are languishing and decide whether they need to be pulled out and restarted because they are too tight. And we'll do that someday. But today's not that day. Next up is from the Little Foxes. This was part of the Labyrinth New Year's Eve and New Year's Day Advent. I will show you the other skein here when we talk about yarn acquisitions, but these are It's Only Forever. It is very bright out today because it's so cold, so my lighting is not ideal. Things I'd like to improve in 2026. This was a sock set, and it's so pretty. I really, really like it. Hold on, I'm gonna stop right here really quick and see if I can adjust my lighting. Hold on. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. This is the dark set. There's also a light set. Again, this is my String of Lights pattern. I do the size medium. It comes in 3 sizes. And I do not a whole contrast cuff, but I do 4 rounds and then a plain round to avoid the bump with the extra, where you can see the color change. I learned that from Summer Lee. And then heel flap and gusset and my toe. Ta-da! I really like these. They came out really pretty. I knit these very quickly. I started these on December 31st. I cast them on New Year's Eve. And then I finished them, I believe, on January 4th. I knit them very, very quickly. And yeah, there's so much depth and stuff going on in the color on the heel and toe and the body of the sock. I love them. I can't wait to show you the light colored one too. Yay. I've also started doing this thing. Oh my gosh, it's almost embarrassing to admit. Have gone through phases where I block my socks and when I don't block my socks. And it's usually I don't block my socks because I want to wear them immediately. But there's just something so nice about how they look when they're blocked. And I don't need sock blockers to hold them up and show you. It's just so nice and crisp and good and relaxed stitches. And I need to practice what I preach and block my socks more. Things for 2026, blocking our socks. So both those two I blocked. You can probably go back and watch videos and tell when I haven't blocked things. Okay, and then my last finished object is going to be the Dance Dance socks by Woolen Vinyl. This is from the 2021 Emo and Alternative Club that Rachel did. I have all 12 months of this, and this is only the 4th pair I finished. I've done Mr. Brightside was January. This is impressive that I remember this. Mr. Brightside was January. Those are done. If I have pictures, I'll put them in here. Mr. Brightside, Helena from My Chemical Romance was February. March was Blink-182. April was Dear Maria, Count Me In. So this is the 5th pair. This is not May. May was Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. They're in a bag. They're just not work done. So yeah, this is Dance Dance by Fall Out Boy. And this was deep, deep, deep stash. And it was just sitting on my bookcase upstairs that I keep some yarn in. And I pulled them off and cast them on the 29th of December and finished them up for January. Yay. Rachel does some really awesome music-inspired yarn. I have a lot of it to share with you in 2026. That's going to be made into finished socks and not just sitting in the yarn stash over here. So, again, String of Lights, size medium. So I really love how these came out. Super fun. Yay, fun yarn. I've been going through and reorganizing some of my yarn lately, and I have a lot of sock yarn. It is what it is. And I have a lot of ideas for certain yarns. I have published quite a few patterns now at this point, and I need to knit more of them. I mean, I love String of Lights. String of Lights is my vanilla sock, so it's my go-to sock because it's a mindless thing. I don't have to think too hard, but I have some other really great patterns that maybe we need to think about sometimes in it as well. So hopefully you'll be seeing more of those here on the channel this year. Okay, let's talk about some works in progress. So I have a large pile of languishing sock whips. I have a large pile of languishing whips, just period, full stop. But I would like to take some time and work on some of them as the spirit moves me. So I have picked 3. Some of them are not as old as others, but we're going to talk about all of them. And then my goal is to try and finish them by the time I talk to you next, which hopefully will be in about 2 weeks. So first up, we're going to talk about the yarn that's living in this project bag. This is from Star Knits. I got this at Wisconsin Sheep and Wool in 2024 because I didn't get the opportunity to go last year. It has some pins on it. These are from, oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of it. Stitchwood. I have a sable patch and I have a sock stitcher patch. And then I have this Reading is Lit pin from Epilogue Books in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. And living in here is my Talk to Me sock set from Yarnaceous Fibers. Here's the ball band. This is from the Stranger Things Halloween countdown box from 2024. This was the 3rd week, and I have 1 done. See, can you see the difference? This is what I need to block. Look at this. Look at this sock. And then look at this one. And look how much better it looks. What is my problem? Blocking my socks in 2026. So this is the first sock. It's inspired by Joyce trying to talk to Will via the Christmas lights in the first season of Stranger Things, which Colin and I are rewatching after we finished the entire series over the break. And so that's the first sock, and I am this far, and am I in the middle of a row? Probably. I am so, like, I get so mercurial about my knits sometimes that I finish not just in the middle of the row, in the middle of a stitch. So I'm going to really quickly finish the end of this row. I am a good length into the leg on this. I'm pretty sure I'm like 2-ish inches from the heel flap. When it comes to String of Lights, I actually count my repeats instead of measuring, which again, I'm trying to be better about measuring this year. My goal is to actually collect an obscene amount of tape measures from friends and places that I go and yarn shops that I go to. I actually started doing that a little when I went to the Flock Fiber Festival in Seattle in August. We went to a yarn shop called A Little Nitty, which is in Milton, Washington, and I got a tape measure from there. So that's kind of my goal, is to collect tape measures. All right, here we are in the leg. This is a stitch marker that came with, I believe, this year's Stranger Things countdown calendar, which I had. And so yeah, I'm 3/4 of the way through the leg, give or take. I am doing these on some Addy sock rockets. I have allegiance to both Addy and to Chow when it comes to sock needles. I wish, and I believe it was Worsted Wolf who said this, that if we could get the Addy rocket squares on the Chow cord, that would be the dream. There's something about these needles that it's something to do with the coating. They're just so fast, but the problem is the cord is not great. Not great. The Addy rocket squares, hold on, I have a set right here, are literally square. They're square and textured, and I really like them. They're ergonomic. Not that my hands don't hurt often from knitting just because of how I knit, but again, the cord is not the best. Also, they've gotten so expensive. They have a lifetime warranty on them, which is great, but they're expensive. And Chow are more readily available, and the cord is better, but every now and then I want the slidiness of a rocket. So this is why we're doing it on this. So I'm hoping to have this pair finished by the time I talk to you next, which will be early February, I'm hoping. Because today is Monday, the 19th of January. This will not probably go up until Friday because I'd like to work on getting it edited a little. better than I have been editing in the past. That's one of the goals for 2026 is to work on improving video editing and just the general aesthetic of my videos. So obviously we're doing great because we're sitting on the couch where we record all the Vlogmas stuff and talking to you, but we'll get there. The next sock that I'd like to finish before I talk to you next is living in my Sock Madness Forever bag from Barley Purl. I believe this was done, I want to say this was 2024 summer. I think it was because I think I bought this in my Olympics bag at the same time, but it's super fun on the inside. It has disco balls on the pockets. If you've been here for a while, you know I'm a big fan of Barley Purl bags. So I have many, and this is one of my favorite ones. Barley Purl is great because there are always two pockets. There's a lanyard, not a lanyard. There's an anchor friend, so you can keep. I have scissors and a stitch marker on here. I have ones that I have a darning needle on too. This one is a zipper with a fixed handle, but you can also get snaps. You can get detachable wristlets. You can get a drawstring. You can get. They make bigger ones than just sock size, but obviously I have mostly sock sized ones. Yeah, Sock Madness Forever. Okay. This is Ice Ice Baby by Dynasty Fibers, which I can't show you the ball band of. I just remembered because I accidentally washed it. I came home. I bought this on Black Friday in November. Karen came to hang out with me and have lunch, and we went to my local yarn shop is Nitty Gritty Yarn Shop here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. They are online. You can check them out down below. This yarn is dyed exclusively for them. It is Dynasty Fibers, but Karen and I had went to visit it before we went and had lunch to support small business, and I bought 3 skeins of yarn, including this one. And then when I came home from lunch with Karen, I put on sweatpants and wound up this yarn and stuck the ball band in my pocket of my sweatpants, and then washed my sweatpants with the ball band in the pocket. So I apologize. But yeah, Dynasty Fibers here in Fondy. This is the Ice Ice Baby color, and I have 1 sock done. How fun is this? Samantha has a whole 90s collection, and this is part of it. The other colors I bought are Mbop and As If. You will see them, don't worry. Sorry, I'm sitting with my legs tucked under me and my foot's falling asleep, so I need to fix that. Yay. Again, not blocked yet. The first sock is done. This one I am not as far on as I am on the other one. This one I wasn't in the middle of the row. The needles were just weird and I pulled it out. So let's use our superpower of quickly rethreading that needle. There we go. I made a loop that didn't need to be a loop. Okay, so I am through the cuff of this sock. These are on Chow needles. I apologize. All of my needles are a US 1 2.25 millimeter on a 32-inch cord, and I magic loop almost exclusively. You'll see eventually what I mean almost exclusively. Surprises for later, plans for later. And this is my Tamagotchi Progress Keeper from Noelle of Charmed and Dangerous. That is obviously on a 90s sock because 90s. And yeah, I have a cuff and 1 repeat of the pattern. So I hope to have this done by the time I talk to you next. They're so fun. It's like a lavender gray, bluey gray. I'm torn because you can see I've got light right here, but it's so bright because of the snow that I can't have it open because it's just blinding in my face. So a little bit soft on the focus, but really, really pretty. So that'll be done by the time I talk to you next. I dropped it on the floor and hit the tripod. Oh no. Oh God, now it's all on the floor. Hold on. Okay, we're back. I picked it up off the floor. All right. And my last project is an extraordinarily languishing whip. This is the Midnight Skies color from Lofty Loops. This is the completed sock. This is from her sock set Advent from 2024? 3? No, 2024 was the fantasy book one because I designed Tales Unfolding for that calendar. This was the year before. So this is 2024. No. This is 2023. It's 2023. Oh boy. So I have one sock done. This is on her 75-25 base. That's the smaller micron. I will put it on the screen. And I have this much done of the second sock that's been on the needle since 2023. And it's all tangled within itself and with its mini and all that good stuff. Oh, children. I wish. Did I just refer to the yarn as children? I did. I talk to yarn a lot, which is silly, but I do. Okay, that's a little less tangled. This has a cute Yeti on it from Charmed and Dangerous. And this is on a set of Hiya steels that I don't think they even make anymore. This isn't the pointy ones. The pointy ones have a blue cord. These are just the normal stainless steel ones. This cord is green. It's, again, one of those awful cords. So my plan is to finish either the Stranger Things socks or the Ice Ice Baby socks and get the needles out and put them on here. So I'd like to get this done before I talk to you next, so this calendar can be done. There was a 4-week sock set advent. Again, this is my String of Lights pattern. Yay. Okay, so we shall see if I get distracted by something else I'm working on or not. I do have a 4th one I'd like to show you as well. That's not living in a project bag because I had one of those weekends where I struggled with what I wanted to work on, and I just didn't work on anything. And instead I cast on a new sock, which is not always the best plan. So I'm going to show you that one as well. And this probably won't be done by the next time I talk to you because I'd like to focus on those other 3. And I'm sure life stuff will come up that will not prevent me, but that will take precedence over getting some socks done. I'm going to motor through this heel flap that I stopped in the middle of, and I'll show you what I have going on these needles right here. I paused to adjust my filming because I got my legs out from underneath me so that I'm in a better frame on the couch. Don't worry, everybody. The chaos and meanness of Vlogmas doesn't go away in these videos. All right, so this is Mulan from Mandi's Makings, from her Disney Princess Mystery Club from, I want to say 2024. I don't have all of them, I just have a few. But I'm all the way through the leg and onto my heel, and I started this yesterday. And this is a Disney Snacks Progress Keeper from Fangirl Fibers that is very, very old, but they're some of my favorites. So I would like to hopefully maybe also be done by the time I see you, but four pairs is asking quite a bit, so we shall see. Before I move on to yarn acquisitions that I have gotten in the last couple of weeks, I am participating in some knit-alongs this year. There are 2 specifically. One is the 26 pairs in 2026 that is being hosted by Exterminate. Just on Instagram, it's super chill. It's just see if you can knit 26 pairs of socks, which is a sock a week in 2026. So you'll have 52 socks and 26 pairs. The other one is being hosted by Mandi's Makings, which is 26 socks in 2026, where you are trying to finish 13 pairs in 2026 and 26 total socks. I believe, I don't know if there's like very strict rules for either of them. You can check out both of their Instagram profiles. I have linked them down below. But so far, those are the sock-related knit-alongs I am taking part in 2026. So I have 3 done, 3 pairs done. These don't count. I have 2 pairs done. These don't count because I finished these on January 1st. So to me, they don't count. So I have 2 pairs done. We need to get going if we're going to have more. So those are my knit-alongs. Not my knit-alongs, the knit-alongs that I'm participating in. Yarn acquisitions. So like I said, I would show you the New Year's Day sock set from the Little Foxes. I will pop in a picture here. This is the New Year's Eve, which you saw as a finished object, and the accessories or the notions and extras that came with the advent. And then it came in these really pretty ice-dyed drawstring bags. So this is the New Year's Day, and it's called You Have No Power Over Me. And this was the color. Ooh. This is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 100 gram, 463 yard, 4-ply for the main, and then 20 gram, 92 yard for the mini. The blue is the little worm guy. The sticker that came with the extras is on my water bottle now. Oh, I can show you in person the little notions pouch that came with it because I'm actually actively using it. It's super cute. I will eventually probably do a video about the things that I need as a sock knitter that are essential to me. So that's a plan for 2026. So that is probably the oldest of my acquisitions. I got it technically New Year's Day. And then during the Stranger Things finale, I had a moment of weakness and ordered 2 sock sets from Dragon Hoard Yarn, from her Stranger Things sock sets, which I have most of, not all of them. I have many of them, including one of the ones I'm going to show you. I have technically now bought twice because the sock set existed after the original skein of yarn I purchased existed. It's on a different base, so technically it's not buying the same yarn twice. Don't ask. All right, so this is on her Myth base. These are 75-25, 463 yards for the main, 92 yards for the mini. And this is Run. I believe this is newer in her Stranger Things. Like, she made it this year, I think. So there's that. My other ones are so old, they have her, like, one of her many years ago ball bands on them. I believe most of those sock sets were purchased in 2022 when season 4 came out. And then this is Running Up That Hill. This is the one that I have technically already knit, but on a different base and not as a sock set. It's Running Up That Hill. I love all the different interpretations of Running Up That Hill, and Tristan's is one of the favorite ones I have. One of the other things I purchased at the beginning of the year was Amanda of Mandi's Makings is doing her 52 sock sets again this year, which is where she releases a new sock set every week. And I bought the first one of the year, which is Lilac Dreams. I could not say no to this. The speckles are so good. It's kind of mellow and soft compared to, you know, these and the one I'm going to show you next, but there's a time and place for all colors when it comes to knitting socks. These might need to be either my Downton Abbey socks, my Grantham Glamour socks that I released this year, which are a mock cable lace pattern, or these might need to be my After Midnight socks that came out on Christmas Eve, which are technically Gremlins themed, but it's such a nice lace pattern that it works for everything. Ooh, I could do my Leica Fight socks with those too. We'll see. And then last but not least, I picked this up, not this past Friday, but the Friday before, from Ewetopia. I bought it at Cream City Yarn. This is Ewetopia Wisco sock. Yes, we went from this to this. Wisco sock, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 410 yards. It is a 4-ply yarn made in Wisconsin. And this is called Starburst Realness. It's very pretty and bright and fun. And I can't wait to see what it knits up like. But in order to do that, we have to finish some other things. So that is what I have acquired in the last couple of weeks, or in the weeks since the year has started, for consulting the giant notebook of show notes. Okay, so let's talk about more plans for 2026 for the channel. So historically, I have done Vlogmas, Vlogtober. Vlogtober is usually not as successful as Vlogmas ends up being. I've done travel vlogs of me going to different fiber shows. I've done sit-down podcasts like this. And in 2026, I definitely want to bring you more videos, like I said. And I'm thinking I'd like, going forward, to bring you videos where I kind of just go through like a day in the life of someone who works in a fiber studio. Take you along in the process of maybe designing a sock. I have plans going forward for this year for at least 2 designs that are coming in the near future. I have some DK versions of my socks coming out this year. That's new for me. I have never ever, until recently, finished an entire DK pair of socks. So that's coming this year. I'd like to do some tutorials here on the channel for some of the techniques that I use when I knit socks. Yeah. It's going to be mostly socks, guys. I hope that's okay. I am sock witchery. And that's what I like knitting most. I don't dislike... I was having a sit down think to myself earlier in the year as I'm looking through Ravelry thinking, oh, I need to cast on this sweater, I need to cast on this sweater, I need to cast on this sweater. As I'm looking at the pile behind me that has at least 4 sweaters in it that are not done. And I also in December tried to wear my sweaters more, and it's weird. Like I don't know if I'm a process or a product knitter. We have a joke that I'm a praise knitter, meaning that I want to finish something and present it and I want everyone to tell me how awesome it is. And I don't wear sweaters as often as I probably should, considering that I knit them. So I decided for 2026 that just focusing on accessories is probably going to be best. I wear socks, hand knit socks almost every single day. I really like knitting hats, and I have plans for a couple of new hat designs coming in this year. And those are the things I reach for, and those are the things I wear. So I think that's just the lane I'm going to be in for now. And the sweaters that I do have on the needles, I'll get done, and I'll talk to you about them here. But I want to knit socks. So that's what we're going to do. And we all know I've got enough yarn to knit socks until the cows come home. But with that being said, I would like to try new things when it comes to knitting socks. So actually I should show them to you because I have things that I'm knitting on for the first time that I've never done. So let me grab those and I'll show them to you. Okay, hi, we're back. So things that I'm knitting on that are new to me are living in my It's Not Christmas Until Hans Gruber Falls Off Nakatomi Plaza. Sorry, falls from Nakatomi Plaza. This was part of the Die Hard Welcome to the Party Pal sock set Christmas Eve cast on that we did in 2024. This year was Gremlins. That's where the After Midnight socks come from. And I would like to show you the new thing I'm doing for socks for 2026. I'm trying colorwork socks. I love colorwork. I love colorwork sweaters. I think they're super engaging and fun. I also really love KALs. Both of these will come into play here in a second. So I'm doing colorwork. This is Summer Lee's Little Checks pattern using Lang Ya wool in mustard yellow, a teal, and a white that I got from my local yarn store. Also, if you've been around a minute, I don't do 9-inch circulars. I'm doing 9-inch circulars. This is a big thing for me. In 2027, I will have been knitting socks, like capital K, capital S knitting socks for a decade. And I have never gotten on board with 9-inch circulars, but I don't know. With color work, it works for me. I've adjusted how I hold them. I used to get hand cramps, and I've also learned that I have, I didn't learn that I have these. I have the ChowGoo Twist shorties. However, I don't like the cable that's with these. It's the same cable that's in these. It's that super thin, super light, super bendy at the joins cable that I have broken several times on my long needles. And there's something about not having the weight there that makes my hands unhappy. However, the just normal fixed 9-inch circulars from ChowGoo have the normal ChowGoo cord, and they don't make my hands upset. So I have a 1 and a 2. That's all I have. I have 1 set of each to keep myself from casting on a million colorwork socks at once. So I know it looks like it's bunchy and tight. I promise you it's not when I stretch it out. I'm going to try and do this and not lose my stitches, but Once it's blocked, it'll be lovely. This is going to have what's known as a peasant heel or a forethought heel. I'm going to try new heels in 2026. I have already started working on stuff that has a strong heel, which is another. I have the True Crew sock pattern by Summer Lee that I talked about during Vlogmas that has a strong heel that I'm working on, and I'm going to try short bow heels again, see if I can find adjustments to make them fit my heels better, fit my feet better. And also in 2026, new things include DK weight socks and cabled DK weight socks. This is Summer Lee's Clog socks pattern. It is tangled with the color work in this bag, but this is the Clog socks. They are cabled, they are DK weight. This is our meaning Fangirl Fibers Pixie colorway on our 90-10 90-10 DK, 90% merino, 10% nylon. And there we go. I love cables. I have many cabled sweaters. I like knitting cabled sweaters a lot, so we decided we're gonna give cabled socks a try. I only have like one other pair of cabled socks, and they're very, very old, and I don't wear them, and I need to give them to someone who will wear them. And yeah, so those are the two new things that we're trying. Summer Lee also has a book coming out later this week that I have on order that's coming from the Woolly Thistle. So there will be more colorwork socks and things on the horizon. So that's exciting. I'm excited to work on socks. Yay. So that's what I got for you on this first episode for the new year. I will hopefully be back here with you in about 2 weeks. And I hope that you are excited about your knitting for the year. And thank you for being here. And I'll catch up with you soon.